Smart 24, driving business.
I'll be back from the break. Let's continue giving you more business updates as they're coming up this particular morning. But before the business updates, as we rush into sports business, let's first of all remind you that investment is very possible and very simple with Zabo, platform by Altex East Africa. Use the USSD code *292# and quickly kickstart off your investment journey today with Zabo. With just a minimum of 15,000 Ugandan shillings, you'll be able to at least have your say into Uganda's investment space by investing in the available government bonds and, of course, other various products that will be available as they come in as well. Now, with a minimum of 15,000 Ugandan shillings and more, you will be able to invest in these bonds. The markets open at 8:15 a.m. and close at 3:15 p.m. East African Standard Time. Note that these markets are closed on weekends and during public holidays. Zabo, my money, my future. Altex East Africa, do something new. And now we head to sports business this morning. Now, AS Roma is in kit dispute with New Balance, as New Balance now insists that they will still have the right to renew and continue producing these particular playing kits for the Italian club. The Italian Serie A club AS Roma believes that that its projected kit supplier agreement after this season, thought to have been signed with Adidas, is likely to be overturned following a lawsuit by the incumbent technical sponsor New Balance. Now, a deal with the German sporting goods company was widely taunted in the Italian media last year, but was never officially announced by the club. So there are chances that New Balance would still be the kit manufacturer or kit supplier to AS Roma, and of course, as Adidas intends to as well get its way back on track with supplying AS Roma with the kit. So that is according to what is coming in from there. Just recently, AS Roma also signed a new deal with an hotel group's collection that will be sponsoring them at the behind, whereby they will be having their brand name at the back of the shirt. Now, in here, New Balance is insisting on a right to renew its AS Roma kit disputes, as you can see. Right now, besides that, let's cross over to Romania, as Orange has added Premier League, Bundesliga and League One coverage in Romania. The Romanian paid television broadcaster Orange Sport has apparently added English Premier League, the German Bundesliga and the French League One coverage to its European football output. The broadcaster, known as Telecom Sport, until rebranding last year following Orange Romania's acquisition of a controlling stake in the Telecom Romania, announced it will begin broadcasting the 3 leagues this month of January. The leagues, which include the English Premier League, the German Bundesliga, which as well include the French League One. So the top 3, one of those top 3 leagues coming in there, one from France, the other from Germany, the other from England in there. So the people, all the citizens of Romania, will ideally have the chance to watch all these leagues starting this month with Orange, as the Romanian pay television broadcaster Orange Sport now apparently is adding these particular 3 leagues onto the coverage for its European football output to ensure that the citizens and the viewers in Romania get to watch and experience the beauty of these particular 3 leagues from there. All right, that is it for sports business this particular morning, coming here on Smart 24 TV. Now, as we sum it up, we will be crossing over to the entertainment business. And right now, speaking of entertainment, joined by Marija Andrew on set this morning to discuss lots of local entertainment business this Thursday morning. A lot is happening within there from the perspective of the promoters. And of course, the Uganda Revenue Authority last month had its say into Uganda's entertainment. And Andrew Barigi is here to break it down for us, to at least understand what is happening in the entertainment world. Good morning, Andrew.
Good morning, Joram. How is it?
The day is moving on well. The week is a bit tight, I should say.
Yeah, but
yes,
by the days, I think because of the heat, it explains what is really transpiring. Well, I remember last year, towards the end of December, Uganda Revenue Authority came up and say that actually artists should get TINs, tax identification numbers, and they will be charged a certain revenue. I think we're talking about 18%. I mean, the charges are quite really so crazy in that particular aspect. And well, now this is in a way going to affect the value of the artist. Okay, if you're to compare the artists, like different artists have different price tags attached to their brands, according to how you cause, your vibe towards the people right there. What you cost the crowds too. And now there is a list that actually was put out yesterday, I guess, about the price tags of each artist, of course, released by the National Promoters Association. And of course, I would request, I guess we have that list, we could be displayed there, and we just try to break it down and see what is really transparent like, and we try to analyze this particular concept. But you see, Joram, this comes back to a place of trying to, you see, for so long we've been emphasizing this aspect of digital platforms. Artists trying to, to get established when it comes to getting digital platforms, and this is something which has not really been picked up really with much, given much more emphasis regarding that, because it's the way to go. Okay, the COVID-19 taught us something, because honestly speaking, physical concerts may not really be appropriate. And in the time where we're heading right now, as in Uganda, since we are just growing up lately in our industry, well, the list has just been displayed right there. I think you can see name of the artist, and of course we see, okay, the note was saying that we wish to inform the public that National Promoters Association of Uganda has come up with new guidelines regarding how much should be paid to different artists as booking fees in order to minimize the risks taken by the promoters in the business. And of course, according to research conducted as Uganda promoters, as promoters in Uganda, from the lockdown, we have seen it necessarily to reverse the price of our artists if we are able to stay. That's in business. We're not demanding our artists that we are serving our job. Any artist who's not happy with these guidelines is free to organize him. Okay, literally, it's trying to say, organize yourself a concert, And we're seeing Bobby Wine there topping the list with 20 million. That is quite so amazing. That's a big figure. David Lutalo, 6M, Shiba Karunji, 5.5, Eddie Kenzo, of course, coming there with 5 million Ugandan shillings. I would request we can have a clip because the list still continues. I'll urge my producer to give us the other side of it. Anyway, as we are getting it right there. But then you get to realize that, for example, let's get to reality. What really happens? It's very easy for you to see a concert and probably see quite thousands of people. Well, before we get there, the list is still there. Thank you for that. Dr. Jose Chameleon, 4 million. Winnie Nwaji, of course, still at 4 million there. Rema Namakula, Spice Dana. And of course, that's something. Well, list very big. We may not be in position to actually conclude this, but we shall, of course, keep discussing this particular aspect. Well, if you look at this now, like I was saying before that, it's very easy for you to see a concert taking place and, you perceive, probably see numbers and you're like, okay, this person must be really making more money. But now if we have to get to reality as we're trying to break down what really transpires, and ever since the COVID-19 pandemic actually came into play, it really spoiled up the entire thing. Now, some of these promoters, for example, they may tell an artist, I'm going to give you this amount of money. Probably I'm going to give you like 15 million or 10 million, 20, whatever the price you can mention right there. And for you, your role is to come and sing. And it's going to organize the venue for you. It's going to organize the sound system, very expensive. And of course, now we also consider what we call curtain raisers, these artists. That's an amount of money. And approximately, you're going to find that it's going to invest about 170 million. Okay, to 200 million. He has put in a concert right there. And, people turn up. And remember, there are those people, like an artist, like when a concert is being advertised and there is that avenue for free tickets, actually. Well, let's also look into that. People who will tickets.
Well, when you realize too, among some of the promoters here, there's a gentleman called Bajo. The idea, besides the formulation of this list, he apparently says that sometimes they do not make the money.
That is very true.
Because these artists, now if I'm to give you a simple breakdown of these same artists and how much they've been charging, pretty much. Palazzo, on record, has been charging roughly around 10 to 15 million. The last 1 year, according to some of the promoters who believe that is his price tag, 10 to 15 million. And one Juliana Kanyomozi will clearly tell you she wants 10 to 15 million too to grace your event. They are big brands, of course, because we do talk about how these musicians invest heavily in their music. You look at the kind of videos that they put in, the kind of money they spend on videos. Some of them actually pay in dollars and all that. Someone gets a video of $20,000, 10 to 20,000. Now you can only imagine. Not all of them do that, but of course, in that same region of around maybe 10 to 20 million putting into this video. Now, in the breakdown here, according to some of the promoters, they apparently came out and revealed that there are two types of musicians, and Ugandans need to know this, that there is a crowd mover and there is a celebrity sort of, and there is a talented artist. There is a crowd mover and a talented artist. Now, a crowd mover may be someone, and if you are an artist, for example, and I was an artist, you may pass within the public or within the people, and you may not pull anyone. You won't grab anyone's attention. And you're talented. So at the end of the day, people won't take you seriously. Then I may pass through the public, and people will be like, "Oh, that guy is." All these kinds of known, but he's known. Now we go onto the stage and you pull the crowds because you have the talent. You can pull your songs attached to them, so it is more likely for people to come to your concert because they know your music. Definitely. They attach to your music. Now they won't come to mind because they know I'm a celebrity, but the kind of music I'm singing, they don't understand.
They don't understand it.
So at the end of the day, as a promoter, they believe sometimes they make mistakes. Now, the kind of mistakes they make is thinking an artist has a huge following or the artist is a celebrity. If I bring him onto the stage, he will make for me some good money. Now, at the end of the day, it is a huge disappointment once the artist comes onto the stage. So the artist comes onto this big stage. You've put in a lot of money. You've given him 15 to 20. He's not the only artist, remember. So you've put in a lot of money to stage that concert, 200 million, you end up in debt because most of the promoters will break down for you. Ugandans are not willing to pay for a concert more than 50,000. So they expect an ordinary ticket to go for 20,000 or 10,000. So at the end of the day, this breakdown was ideally to clearly show the viewers that all the people who go to these concerts that, well, we as promoters feel like the best way to give a fair share for the both of us to earn is breaking down this money, because this artist is going to come and sing for close to
A few minutes.
for
actually.
a few minutes,
Yeah.
let's say 10 to 20 minutes.
20 minutes. Yeah.
And after that, they're leaving, they're going to go somewhere else. So when you look at this one, it's just a breakdown of this list. My kind of thing with this list is they've broken down some of the artists, though my biggest surprise has been the Lekol having a 1 point from 1 million to 1.5. The promoters believe he needs to earn that. Then the other artists ideally in the region of 4 to 5 million Ugandan shillings.
Yeah, because
and some
of the
artists are like, no, they're apparently saying it depends on the kind of music you've produced as well.
Okay.
Because if, as a promoter, you're putting up a concert, looking at what kind of songs people are attached to in a few days. So by the time you advertise the artist, who is willing to come? Are people going to come and say, okay, I'm coming to watch this artist perform?
Okay.
But again, I've always had this concern as a person in my kind of situation that the other reason as to why lately Ugandans don't have a very huge, level of attending concerts goes back to how our artists are easily accessible. And this is something that I cannot hide from, but our artists, especially those that we look at as the modern day artists, are more accessible than the ones that we used to know of, the Kadongo Kam, or those who do band music.
Okay.
Because when these particular revelers go to the bars, they're going to find the same artist. Sometimes you'll find an artist who can't afford a bottle of beer for himself or wine. So now you are attaching yourself to this artist and you're like, I see this one every day.
Every day.
Why should I pay money for him?
So the value goes down.
The value is going down. Now you look at these artists who does live music, they rarely see them in bars and all those stuff. Someone will be like, oh, this guy has a concert here. Why don't I go and see this guy? That is why sometimes you realize promoters end up paying for a lot of money for foreign artists, because they know the money will be paid back. People will want to rush and go. They do not want to associate with these local artists who are always accessible all the time. They're in wrangles with the public and all that. So the value is flowing down, and sorry to say that sometimes you realize that this is the undervaluing the music by giving someone 1 million, 2 million.
Some people are in 500,
500k, 500. So you can. It's very. It's in some or the other one may think it is demeaning.
Yeah, in a way.
Or doing something, but it goes back to, of course, the promoters. They are doing business and they want to earn money.
But now, you talked about accessibility, and this points me back to a place of branding as an artist. Could I say that most of the artists, a big percentage of them are known, they have not branded themselves to create that image that can attract sums of money in this regard? Now, because when we talk about accessibility, well, I think this is something which some artists need to understand, though, Joram, that comes with a price. It's quite very expensive. Because if you're a star, okay, let me put how they call you a star. There are expectations that are put on you, because one of the reasons that's why those artists are easily accessible. It's because sometimes, in Uganda, it's very easy to be famous, yet your financial standing doesn't correspond with your fame. You get that? And that is also quite some other big factor causing that. And all that comes back because we lack copyright.
Yeah.
So why I'm driving all this is that, and you're very right about that, accessibility, the easier you access somebody, the less their value declines. Now, the reason that's why some of them are accessible, you find them that you will go to the same shopping place and you'll find them there, probably they're shopping, because that's what they can afford. You're going to go to a certain restaurant, you find them doing that. So, as a fan, of course, in that regard, you're going to, it's going to be hard for you to go and buy a ticket for this person, because you're going to feel like you're in the same bracket with them.
Yes.
And that is something which I believe should be addressed. But still, I'm not going to blame the artists on that. It's because the policy, the art policy in Uganda does not favor them to really live that life of that completeness, feeling that, hey, I'm an artist. I have it that way. So that really explains why it's that way. And unless, because may I believe the only way they are going to really start, and why do you think? Okay, let me give an example of Jay-Z. Jay-Z right now doesn't do music. He stopped, but he's still earning even from the music he recorded in the 1990s. But it's not like that in Uganda here.
Okay.
That's why an artist is going to be 50 years and they still want to compete with youngsters coming in. So it all drives back to whatever is going on. And now still pointing back now to the URA, the taxation. It's going to become even much more dangerous. I'm scared about the industry in the coming years. I don't know. Probably there could be possible ways, but if copyright is really put into, because discussions have always been going on, copyright, but there are no implementations that are being done.
Well, and of course, when we look at that URA issue after the break, we're going to be breaking it down a little bit from the Uganda Revenue Authority's perspective as we look at the entertainment sector. Just a quick 10 minutes that we shall be having, and after the break, still we shall be having the SMB Insight coming through as well. But we're going to be finishing up our discussion here with entertainment, looking at the issue to do with URA, with the directive that the artists and those in the entertainment industry should have their TIN numbers. So stick around, we'll be right back.